All right, we'll let everybody get in. I'm going to be doing some projects with alcohol inks today. And this is by no way a what to do. It could be a what not to do. It is just play. I am not an expert. I'm just trying out some things that I've seen in videos and online and trying to play with some techniques. And we had a list of ideas of things that we wanted to kind of explore. Hi, Judy. So I have some new inks that I bought, some Tim Holtz to use, and some different projects to work on. Hi, Lisa. We'll let everybody kind of get in. So those of you who are watching on YouTube, you might want to just sort of fast forward. This is a live stream, so I am talking to people in the chat. You can hear Tay Tay in the background. Hi, Vaughn. Hi, Linda. Hi, Teresa. Teresa, you got it immediately, what I was trying to say. Hi, Pat. Hi, Melody. Hi, CB. CB understood it, too. Hi, Lori. Hi, Kim. Hi, Shauna. All right, so Shauna's here, so let me kind of show her what I meant. All your pieces of hair, and I just did one color. All your pieces of hair were the same length and the same stroke. And what I was basically saying was that you could take the one that you have, and if you just went in and did some variation in a darker color, but not all the same length, and then darken some of the tips, you could get that kind of that lighter color, because the fur, and I think you could still take, I would just do the watercolor and kind of do a rich, but I wouldn't make them the same length. I would vary the length. Some I would pull all the way out in the darker, and then you could come in with, you can come in with your white colored pencil and create a wider area, more in the highlight. That's all I meant, was that if you went in and darkened some of this, that you might create more of what you were looking for, that they were all the same length. You could still do that with the turquoise too. You could use some of the darker rusty color, or a burnt, I would probably go more on the red side, like a burnt sienna, and the turquoise, kind of the colors I was using in the city to darken it. Pull some out with a rigger, but darken some, but not all the same, like vary the length so it's not so uniform. And I think it will look more 3D. Yeah. Oh, no. Yeah, it takes a while. And I watched a lot of Dee Dee and was looking at how she was kind of doing fur, and doing the dog portraits has helped me too. You could use a rake brush, would be a good thing, because then you could get some long, some short. But I would go in with, like I said, I would darken it just around his face of the mane and pull some out. But that will create that mass, that recessed mass that they have. And then, yeah. It's just yours is all the same, is what I'm saying. Yours is the same value and the same length. And they all go the same direction. So just taking some and darkening them. And giving a little bit of movement to some of it. on top of your lighter will give you more of what you're looking for, I think. And you can take the painting that you have. Do not scrap it because it's good, Shauna. You just don't have enough variation in your tone and lengths. They're all the same. That's all. You can finish him, is all I'm saying. You could add and get more depth. I think your bridge on your nose, your stencil got in your way, didn't it? Hi, Eileen. Yeah, and that will give you some, like I said, some variation because it's not like all of the hair is exactly the same length or the same color. So, hey, watch me because I'm probably going to show you a lot of what not to do with these projects. So we had a list. We were going to try some things, and I pulled out stuff. We were going to use, I had a list that Kathy and I were making the other day. We were going to try the oxide to a crackle stencil on top of the alcohol inks. We're going to try the alcohol ink on a piece of ceramic and put saran wrap. We won't see the end of this today. We were going to try the ink on jelly prints that have gel medium and try to do some work on top of a print. We are going to try using, Bob got these, it's not a needle, it's just a tip on a syringe to get something in a small area, but it is not as fine as a needle. So we're going to try using this syringe. Magicals and Yupo, well, I know that if you use like the sprays with the water, it just sits there. It doesn't do anything. And it's hard. You have to kind of let it sit and let it evaporate on its own because you can't really use your heat gun because unless you have the heavy Yupo, and I don't have the heavy Yupo. So I did want to show Kathy Berg, if you're here, this is how I have my magicals stored and swatched. I have them in one of these boxes, and I literally just took and wrote the name of the colors down. And then I took like just a tiny bit on a damp water brush and put it on the paper and then kind of just swatched it out. And that's how I swatched mine. And then I just keep the cards in the box so I can grab what I want or need. Okay, I need those. But we might try mixing one of these with alcohol in a sprayer. I have mostly shimmer ones. So I don't think I have any that are flat. But we might try that if we get to it. So I'm going to set magicals aside for right now. I have these sprays, but I know what they'll do on the Yupo. They'll just sit because the water and the alcohol won't play together. Then we were going to try the foil sheets. This is a piece of the vellum. It's the architectural vellum that Kathy sent me. And yesterday I saw using the stencil, and I used heavy gloss gel. I just used Liquitex and I put it through the stencil, and that's dried. So we're going to play with alcohol ink on there. There's a little bit of paint that came off from the stencil, but I'm not worried about that. We're also going to take later, not today, but later we're going to take and play with, after we make a few of these pieces, what do they collage like? Maybe we'll find a piece that we want to collage on a jelly print after we're done, like punch a hole and try a collage. I also had a piece of transparency I thought we could play on. I'm not sure because this is the kind of transparency that you use to send through a copier and do heat on it. So I'm not sure how it'll do. I have some previous work that I've done that I'm going to show a technique to do with those that I saw. This is the Magicals on the vellum. And it just sort of sat there and I had to let it dry. Now you can see up close, it did not make it buckle. It was really wet. It was watery. And there's a little bit of shimmer, but because it's a non-porous, you just literally have to put some on there and kind of, because you can't do too much with a heat gun or this stuff will buckle. I have a catalyst brush. I also got this out to try to move the inks around and create ridges. And I saw something yesterday that we're going to try using dot tools. So we're going to try that on an existing. I have paint brushes. I have pipettes. I have some containers. My rubbing alcohol, first of all, I have to find the rubbing alcohol because I don't know where I put it, people. Why did I think I had everything ready and now I can't find the rubbing alcohol? I ordered Yupo, but I ended up ordering the translucent and didn't realize it. The regular Yupo will be coming later. I know that stuff is sitting somewhere right in front of me. There it is. I don't have the 91%. I just have the 70%. So until I go back to the Walgreens, I'm just going to have to make do with that. Hi, Joan. Hi, Sharon. Happy birthday, Joan. Well, it was yesterday, belated birthday. So that was sort of the things. And the other thing that I saw was she used a paint palette. And I have my hair dryer, so I can use it instead of the heat gun. But I'm going to use this to create a little bit of a palette that I can keep to work with the brushes. So the first thing I want to do is I want to put a couple of, I know turquoise is a color that I would use a lot. Baja Blue for sure. This is a green. It looks like peeled paint. It's an Adirondack color. But I can't see the name of the color on it. But it's a light green. The Pinata has a dark green. Now these are highly pigmented. I ordered 3 new ones today and got, or yesterday. This one is like a soft blue. This one is like a peachy salmon color, and it's real light too. Now, the girl I was watching yesterday said if you were just starting to invest, that it was better to invest in darker pigments because you can always lighten them. Okay. And then this is a pink. I definitely know I want some of this pink. I have a gray that's coming. We need a yellow. And then I'm going to narrow it down to 2. There's the magenta. I have a burgundy. I think that burgundy's a little on the dark side. I also have an orange. I'm going to do the orange and the magenta. And I can leave these sit in here and then just add some alcohol to them and use it with a brush to reconstitute. Okay, now I had an order to how I had this, but that order is pretty much gone. All right, so I'm going to add a little bit. Yeah, the piñatas are nicely pigmented. All right, so I'm going to add a little ink, alcohol to each of these so we can use them. The other thing she talked about was closing them when you're not using, like closing up the alcohol when you're not using it because it evaporates so fast. And it's so strong. Okay, so I'm going to let that sit. I'm going to move these sprays because I'm not going to use those. I have a couple different brushes to use. I have all the dotting tools, but I'm not going to use these like super big ones. Now this one has a little half moon, could create an interesting shape. So I think, because like I said, I have a set. I'll leave one of these larger ones out. This one. I'll use these 3 and leave those out for us to use. I'm just trying to get some of the stuff cleared off so there's no room to work. Okay, I have a purple that I made with a Tim Holtz color. I was trying to make an alcohol spray, but the spray bottle doesn't work. So this is a purple, and I'm going to use that on this with the turquoise and the gold. And I think I'll use the gold from Piñata. Gold. We need a piece of saran wrap. They're comparable. It's just, I learned a lot yesterday watching. The piñatas are highly pigmented. There are some colors in the Rangers that are not as pigmented. Oh, this is green saran wrap, but that doesn't matter. It was all they had at the dollar store when I went to the dollar store, which is sad, is I have plenty of saran wrap at school. Hi, AJ. But she talked about if you're just going to invest in a few, that the best thing if you only wanted to get a set was to get the primaries and to get the darker colors. I think the set of 9 piñatas are a great invest. I mean, I think you can for $10 because you can mix. The only thing they did not have in that set was turquoise, and I got to have turquoise. I also ordered a gray, but it's not here yet because I wanted gray. And I think I'll probably get a lighter brown color from the Tim Holtz line. And I'll show you about, I saw something in a kind of a neat way approach to doing a landscape. Miriam's Nature has wonderful videos. Okay. And I'm not sure how I want to do this. So I'm just going to kind of play. You can do this with a plate or a coffee cup. I'm going to do some trays. I just haven't found any yet. I just haven't gone to a good place. Now, the tutorial that I saw started out by putting alcohol on the outside to begin with. I think alcohol wipes would be also a good thing to use. Yeah, Miriam's Nature. That's it. Thank you, Teresa. So I'm just going to put some alcohol in a bowl here, and I'm going to brush on some alcohol. I've cleaned this so that there's nothing. It's all clean on the outside. Okay. And see, this is already like started to evaporate. So now I'm going to take and put my purple in the bowl. And I'm going to, this purple should be fairly light. I'm going to let that drip down the sides. All right. And I like that. I'm going to put this purple back that's left. So I decided to work on a, actually, I think I'm to the stage where I want to, well, no, I'm going to work on the plate for just a little bit longer. I'm going to put this purple back in the bottle so it's not sitting here. Woo. I'm not going to worry about what spilled on the saran wrap because this is all going to get wrapped in saran wrap anyways. But I just don't want to kill myself with the alcohol smell right now. All right. And I'm just going to layer some of the purple. And let it move down. The sides. This is not anything I'm going to eat out of either. You can. You have to seal them anyway. So you can get sealer. Krylon is what most people were talking about using. Okay, so now let's Go with some of the turquoise. I'm going to let that run down the side. And then I'm going to add some of the gold in places. Let it run. Oh, it's making a pretty green too. Okay, let's dry that just a little bit. All right, I'm gonna get what has spilled on the plate again in the bowl. And I'm gonna let some of that trickle down again. Now you could just do this and dry it and be done with it, which I do kind of like the way it looks right now. Okay, so I'm gonna just trying to use up some of that ink. I have seen people do this like sideways. I want some more gold in places. And I think the blue's pretty good. So now what we're going to do is we are going to wrap it all the way up in saran wrap. Look at that pretty plate. Like, that could be turned into something too. But I'm going to let this sit on here. And then I'll post a picture of it. I may have ruined it. We'll see. Oh, yeah, I can't stand gloves. Hi, Randy and Terry. I don't care if my hands are stained. I can't stand the feel of and smell of gloves. I'm not allergic to latex. So I will tell you the smell, and I am by no means an expert. Let me tell you, I'm just playing. All right, so let's play with this. I had a piece of glass. I was going to see if I could find the glass. That I put my jelly plate on sometime. Here it is. So I'm going to put this on a piece of glass. Now, she used Scotch tape, which I have a little of, to make a border. Hi, Marianne. This has gloss gel medium on architectural vellum. So I'm just going to tape down like we do for our watercolors, but I'm just using clear tape. I'm assuming you could use washi too. In fact, that may be what I do when we run out of tape. But I just wanted to play. I had a corn dog, which, oh, hey, Tay Tay. Y'all, Tay Tay and Fat Fanny are going to be so sad when we have to go to school next week. Baba too, but the girls are a little spoiled. Okay, so let's use those really soft new ones I got. That set. There's a salmon, a pink, and a blue. And I might use some of this green too. I think I'm going to start with green on the bottom. I'm going to kind of brush out. And then I think I'm going to put this blue. There's trees on here. So I thought that would be pretty. I like these really soft colors because they're already got that faded, wispy color. And I think I want some yellow in there. Okay, so let's try drying that. And I'm going to use the hair dryer on low. I wish I had, it does have that little push button. I may need it. I'm going to add some more blue back in. Which may make it go too green. And let's put some of the pink back in some places. And I'm just using the brush to get it in some of these places where the stencil's not really going. All right, let's do low. I don't know, Sharon. We'll see. I'm tempted to see what happens if we use the foil on some of the top part. These are light, really light colors. I ordered a set of inexpensive alcohol markers because I looked and the only thing I had was I had one neon Sharpie. Well, I have some thin Sharpies, but I don't really have a lot of alcohol markers. Okay, so while that's kind of doing its thing and getting sticky, I just ordered the tin foil sheets. I ordered this set from Ranger because it had the turquoise. So let's see what's in here and what we want to use. Hi, Beth. I'm leaning towards a sheet of this, but the gold might not be bad either. Oh, that's 2 sheets. Oh yeah, that did pick up. It's can you see? Trying to get it down in the stencil part because it's I'm going to try putting some pink in here. Where I didn't get as much on there, and kind of let it do its thing, and then attempt it again. But I think that that is pretty up. I mean, you can, I think once it's matted, because the gold went in the birch part and in the branches. The oh yeah. I think that's good. I used a heavy gloss gel from Liquitex through the stencil on the vellum and left it overnight to dry. Let's take the tape off. This is my problem with Scotch tape, is it doesn't want to peel. There we go. But I really like the clean edges for the most part that the tape gave. I think it helped look more finish to the project. So that is not too bad. Let me set that aside, and I'll put it on some white paper. So the foil worked pretty good. We get a piece of white paper. And she did talk about cleaning up the edges. Like if you get a little bit of color where you don't want it on under the tape, like some bleed, to just take alcohol, and that usually you could wipe it back. She also talked about sometimes it's underneath, not on the top of the piece, but like on the back. Like it might be back here that it's bled. But that's not going to show. I mean, it's going to be matted, so but I think the foil came out really cool in the trees. I'm not sure if, I think if I matted it, I almost might do one of those glass on glass where it's smashed between glass, so that you could still see the translucent nature, like you could see the light through it. but that is kind of fun. I am not getting that little stain to move or lighten, really, to be honest. But maybe it's heat set, and that's why. I want more pink in a few places. And I want some more blue in a couple places. Yeah, I like the dimension. Hi, Jackie. And mostly the metallics stuck to that raised part. So let's set that one aside. I'm going to call it done. Okay. I don't know what. So the other technique that she did that I was really interested in was using just the plain alcohol and blending solution with a color or in a palette. I'm going to put just the clear alcohol in here for right now because I want some just, actually I'm going to. And using the idea of using a dipping tool to create what I would think of almost as a cell. I don't know what it do. And you can use the motion of the ball. You can use, I'm going to use a smaller one. You can use a color in one of those that you made. I'm just using like a pink. All right, and I'm going to switch to kind of a smaller one. Let me zoom the camera in. Yeah, I will. You mean the one I just did, the last one, Sharon? Yeah, it won't be matted or anything. I'll just put it in kind of as is. Zoom in. And then And I'm going to go to a smaller one. I'm going to try some yellow. Like I said, I really liked this technique because it reminded me of cells that we get when you are doing acrylic painting. And I'm going to go back to the larger one. I like the fact that you could be more controlled. And more purposeful. All right, I'm going to switch back to a smaller one again. And I'm going to go back to the pink. I didn't do any purple, which would have been good for this one. Let me put a little bit of purple in a lid. Can you see how I'm getting sort of a pattern that I can create? Hi, Umar. I probably said your name wrong. All right, and I want to go back to that yellow. Now I just polluted that yellow a little bit. I do think it's probably a good idea to wipe the end of the stylus. Yeah, I just want it to get to break up. I like the fact that I can break up. This to me was the coolest technique I saw yesterday of all the techniques that I saw. Because it's like dropping the stuff on it, but more purposeful. And then I can go to the smaller, like I said, I have all the dotting tools. Okay, let's go back to the pink. And then I can also do, hi, Jillian. Hi, Jean. Hi, Maxie. And I'm going to also, we used the gold in this. Oh, that's yellow. Sorry. Put a little bit of larger gold up here. Now I'll put some gold in a lid. Get the bigger dot tool. Let's take that bigger tool and see if we can't put some pink in there. So that was the idea of the dotting tools, and that this could also be used with brushes. When you're done with it, you can sit, you can reconstitute any of the colors like you can your watercolor. So I kind of like that one, and I'm going to call it done. But I think that the dots down here just helped add more interest. Because you could be more purposeful. So I'm going to give that a little bit of a dry. However, I kind of think I need to maybe break that up a little. I will say that this stuff, I don't like the way it comes out of the stupid bottle. I want, I think I want needles, but let's try this. I'm getting pretty small drops. And I didn't get very much in the syringe. Okay, here's some more. Okay. The other thing I learned was on the low heat, how to push it or fan it. We might try the gold foil on here in just a minute. I think there's some areas right here. I think it needs some light. So I like that I'm getting some lightness in here. Where this purple is. Because to me, the purple took over and got too dark. And I'm going to kind of help that bloom a little bit. And then hit it with the dryer again. I'm just adding more in this area. Kind of loosening it up with the brush. I may even add a little of this turquoise in here. Okay, let's hit that. Hi, Kim. Thank you, Maxie. Like I said, I'm just literally playing. I don't necessarily have a plan other than I wanted to try techniques that I saw. Okay, then let's try a couple dots of this purple. I like that there, like I said, it was too dark for me in some of this middle area. And I think that's better now. Let's go ahead and put the lid on that. And this worked pretty well. And we just bought these on Amazon. I'm sure you can get smaller tips. And I'm just going to leave those because I can reconstitute and use them again. Let's try. This is not quite tacky enough. I do have a drip I don't like here. That I'm going to bust up. I don't know which way you can. To me, I think that's the way I like it. Let's try seeing what the gold sticks to. It still needs to tack up a little bit. Yeah, Beth, kind of. I had seen one last night and she just did a simple like turquoise. And then she did something that made kind of a brown color down the middle. And then she went in with dots. And it was, I like the more meticulous. Yeah, I'm having a hard time getting it all in framed. There we go. I'm zoomed in and I got a lot of stuff around me. Trying to move some things out of the way. Put away. This isn't quite ready yet. Let me put some of these inks back. If I put things back, then I'll know where they are. I wish I had got 2 of the tins from Tim Holtz. I got this and it holds everything, but I have a gray coming. And these are the Lumineers. So I think I need to order a second tin so I can put the Lumineers in their own tin and then keep building the alcohol inks. Okay. I think this will work. You might not get anything. A few of those dots went gold. I'm hoping right here. But it's still a little tacky. Yeah, I thought that maybe this would, but nope. it here and there. Why is it trying? No, Cortina, I don't want your help. She's trying to show me show times for a movie. So I think that I'm going to call this one done. I just need to, I'll mat it. I got some mats. I'll show you. And I'll sign it. I think this is the bottom. I still think that's the bottom. And I got to get better at leaving some negative space, I think. But I think it looks pretty when they're matted. Now, the only thing is we might need, there's a big, I'm wondering if we should have a little purple breakup right in here. And maybe even some turquoise blue. I don't know how I ended up. Get the bigger one out. And then I should move this mat before we get in trouble. See, it's just really hard not to get too big of a area. But that broke it up a little. That gold just needed. The Catalyst brush is the other thing that we talked about typically maybe using. To push the pigments around. Kathy used it a little bit. So let's put this one up. It is like jelly printing though. You do go, where do I put all this? Okay. So let's try a gel medium piece. I'm going to try this. And I'm going to take the orange Pinata and I want to dilute it. I want it bright. In fact, I'm going to pop a touch of magenta in there too, I think, to get kind of a coral color. And I'm going to put some alcohol in it so I have a large amount of ink. Let's use a pipette. Let's try. I'm going to put a lid on that when I'm not using it so I don't lose it. And let's try the heat gun. More of the alcohol. Well, it's sitting on there. Just a second. I keep getting I have stuff sitting on top of the computer, so I keep getting messages that cover chat. All right. Let's try turquoise because you can never have too much turquoise. Now this is a I'm just gonna let the drips do their thing, sort of. This is a jelly printed paper with gel medium. I'm getting alcohol in my dispenser and it's got a diluted green in it. Okay, let's do, thanks, Kim. Let's do some yellow because we can. Let's see if we can break up some of this darkness. All right. Okay, it is a little sticky. I will say that. I don't think it moves as easy as the Yupo. Just trying to use up some of this green. All right, I'm going to go back to my coral here in a minute. I want this to kind of dry. And I wouldn't say that I dislike it. I'm just pouncing some color back out, but it is sticky. Let's try some. It likes the foil because it is sticky. You're not getting the really cool ridges though. I think the gel medium has gotten sticky again. Yeah, it's stuck good. I think that the thing is that the gel medium got sticky. So it might be something like you wouldn't want to necessarily use your heat gun or your hair dryer. Maybe the straw. Would be better. The one thing I don't like about the straw is you get more fingers. It might help if you stood up. Sorry, I know that's not in frame. Okay, I have some more areas I want coral. Let me use the paintbrush too. Some people also used a Lazy Susan to turn their work because they also talk about like blowing the fumes away from you. Close that up. I'm gonna do a little more than I want. I kind of like tapping sometimes when I have excess. Okay, we're gonna let that dry a little. Clean that. Let's set that aside and let it dry, and then we're going to come back and try to add. I think it's still too sticky to add gold or gold leaf to it. This is one we cleaned yesterday that was on Yupo. Let's try using this. Well, I take that back. I may. Because to me, this kind of look like flowers. So I thought maybe we could kind of add leaf-like. Sorry. My mouse is it's driving me nuts today. So the thought was like I could almost paint in something more purposeful. And then we could come back and add I'm just going to add to the pink areas where I think the blossoms would be. Where I did the magicals has dried up pigment in it. It just landed on the paper. It's really, let's just go ahead and go with it. Let's see what it does. There's just some crusty magicals. Let's see what happens when it mixes with some of the blending solution. And then let's take some of the darker red color. That does not go on there. And use the straw. Actually, I don't like that straw. I'm going to use some of that coral that we made earlier on the brush and try to do a more painterly, break it up with a more painterly. All right, so the Lindy's is not, it's just sitting there. It is not really. Okay, let's pick up some of that and put it here. This is a little warped too from drying. Okay. Sorry, I know I'm not in frame. I probably need to back the camera up just a tad. So I kind of like using it as like a paintbrush with a paintbrush. Let's dry some of this. Trying to get the dark sort of concentrated on one side. I like how that looks like abstract flowers. In fact, I might be able to just put a drop. It's still got that magicals. Okay. And let's go wild and try a drop of yellow. So that worked pretty cool. Kind of liking that. Put some more green. I'm just going to put some green in this container. The magicals is just sort of sitting there. I think it will all just fall off. I don't think it's going to dissolve like it does with water. Actually, let me. So I added some of that light green with some of the dark green. Ooh, don't like that. It went too brown. Let's do this. It was better this way. Just putting a drop and manipulating it. With the catalyst brush. And I'm just grabbing some on the catalyst brush and a drop here and there. So I think that's kind of cool. I was just trying to turn something I didn't like. Like I like parts of it. Like I might use you know, maybe just a portion of it in a mat, you know, with just some of that green. That looks like 3 flowers, so I kind of like that. So I probably will cut it up and use it like that, because I kind of like those 3 flowers there. It might look fine in a big mat. We could try that too, CB, and see if we like it. I like to see things in the mat. Yeah, it's not bad, matted, the whole thing, to be honest. It's very abstract. So I could actually probably keep that one whole. So let's set that aside. And let's see. I think I waited too long. There's some sticky over here. That didn't work so hot. This got sticky. I will say, I don't understand why some of that's not sticking to it. Maybe I just needed to burnish it more. There's a pop. The easiest thing would be just add some drips of the gold, and let's try some of the rose gold. And put a little. It breaks up really cool. Blow that. So this I would just probably use as a piece of collage. I don't think I would use it in its entirety or frame it. Oh, I don't want purple on there. In fact, not sure I like all of that rose gold. We did make it sticky in a couple places. Again. Like I said, this one I think I would just use it the way I typically use collage papers. Cut it up and use it in a piece. While we're playing with it though, here's some purple Yupo. Let's put the rest of this coral color on it and play with it. Here's the straw. Okay, I did get the more wispy color that I wanted. Look. So let's add some of the turquoise with that. And I am kind of turning the straw. Let's try some of the darker turquoise. I'm going to try to get up more straight up. So okay. Whew. You do get lightheaded when you blow through the straw. Okay, let's get that to tack up. I like how that turquoise broke up right there. It's too wet. Let's try a little of the salmon color. In there. Put a little bit of the fluid in there. All right, let's try some of the purple around the outside more. And let's put some of this. That purple needs to be diluted. It takes over. Okay, I do like it. To me, it almost looks like a hibiscus. I'm going to try to get some of this purple over here. Okay. This is messy. I don't know what I'm doing with this. I'm going to let it evaporate and try to use some of the gold, but it's not dry enough. I know that. Let's hit it with the heat gun real quick. I had another gold. There it is. That worked pretty good. And these are so used that I'm just getting random anyways. Okay, I think I could put that. Let that dry, and I could probably get some gold in there. And put this piece on here and just let it sit. There's definitely like an optimum moment. That worked pretty good, putting that extra. So let's try it again. Okay, let's let that do its thing. I gotta turn it. I'll get the drips going in there. Okay. So let's put that there. Put that there. I will say this vellum doesn't buckle under the treatment. That was too wet, so let me leave that. Well, I think that's going to be it for what it's going to do. Let's, it needs blue back in here. Okay, let's let that sort of set up. We'll try a little more. To me, it reminds me of a hibiscus flower, what's going on right now. Hi, Christine. All right. I'm going to set that on this area. I don't know if there's any over here either. I'm going to scroll back and see if I've missed anything or anybody. Wonder if Janet and Robert have flown home in their plane yet. Yeah, they look like flowers, don't they? Dot, a lot of times. Yeah, I like the purple and the gold. Yeah, I doubt that. It's not like they really need a, of course, who needs a plane if you're not really. Got a little more gold. That is not too shabby. I was gonna collage this. Let's see if we can find a paper that we like it on. Give me just a second. But now I don't think I want to. I think it would detract from it. I think it's better off. I have an idea though. Let's try. Well, no. Let's see if there's a green. Let me look in my stash and see if we find a, because it might be pretty on a green, like a light green. If the paper's not too busy, which I don't know if I have anything like that currently in my stash. We'll pull out a couple. Let's see if anything. I wanted to collage a piece of this, but I don't want to cut it up now. Kind of wondering how would it look just collaged on there. And then matted. That's not bad. The others are too busy. I can tell you that right now. There is a brighter green, but I think that I like it on the softer. There's this with the pink, but I think that's too busy. So I think it looks really good on this. It's the same color of the blue. It's a magical paper. So let's try putting this on, because that was one of our things we wanted to try, was how did it collage on, like, because this is the heavier vellum. Now I'm going to use what I always use, because if it doesn't work with this, then it doesn't work. I think I would spray it with the varnish, but I don't have any spray varnish. Okay. I'm going to take a clean paper towel. I'm just trying to make sure that it makes decent contact. Well, it is doing better The paper's buckling, but that'll unbuckle. It's because it's thin copy paper. It is doing better than any of the scrapbooking vellum that I've bought. I'm just going over the edges with the gel medium. You got to be careful with that because this isn't sealed. I actually think it might have worked pretty well. Now, I will say what happens a lot of times when I use the vellum on canvases, it glues down, but then it lifts. And I have also used this type of gel medium. To put it down with the glossy, heavier gel medium. I'm putting just a light coat of that around the outside. Because what usually will happen to me is the edges will eventually buckle and curl, no matter how deep I try to bury it in gel medium. But this seems to be, there's only one place right here that's wanting to lift. But so far, I'd say this is the good stuff. That if you got the heavier weight vellum, I think you can use it in your collage. But like I said, this is architectural weight. I think this is very similar to the translucent Yupo. Let's put that aside and let it dry. And see how it does given some time. I'm going to put a little alcohol on my craft mat and lift this. All right, let's try. Do you want to try this clear stuff? And this isn't going to show up very well. You put the white underneath it. Okay. And just do the turquoise there. And then we'll take some alcohol. Okay, it's pink because there was some pink in that needle. Let's take the straw and see what we can. Well, the first thing I'll tell you is it doesn't want to move on this. It does kind of like the Magicals do on some of the papers, is it wants to sink and sit. Okay, let's go back to some of the turquoise. No, that's not the turquoise. And let's do some blending solution to kind of see if we can't get some of that blue back. Some of that lighter blue. The green kind of takes over. Let's try that. I like this right here. I still want more blue in it. So maybe now okay, I kind of like that the way it is. All right, let's take the turquoise foil. No, I don't think that'll show up. Let's take the gold. The darker gold. I'm always ready in some areas. Just needs to tack up a little more. All right, let's hit that with just a little bit of heat. Okay, let's. I'm using both sheets because, I'm using both sheets because I can. I'm gonna let that sit. Let's try this. Let's try. There needs to be some of this in here. Let's turn it around. Try to connect it a little bit. All right, let's try drying that a little. Okay, and I want to do a little. That's still wet. Let's put it on there wet and just let it sit while we work on this area. And try to get this area to tack up. Let's put that on there. And just let them sit for a minute and see if we can get anything. And then we're just about ready to call this one done. Yeah, I didn't really get anything. I didn't get any ridges is the problem. I couldn't get, it was just too thin. I couldn't get it to ridge up. They did say, the one video I watched, that this has some binder in it that the regular alcohol doesn't. So similar, I guess, to the like binders and pigments. Okay. Let's put that on there. And hope that we'll get something off of that. We'll let that sit for a minute. We'll burnish that really good. That came out so good. We'll burnish this. I got a little. Let's try this too that I found in my stash. It's like a glue pen. I don't know if it works. I don't know how you get it started. It doesn't seem to be working. Seems to like the tip is seized up. And I never even used it. But we do have this. The problem with this stuff is it's hard to get an organic shape. Oh, that worked. I want something right in here too. I'm going to use this part that the foil's not like all there to help it be more organic. Hey, babe. Okay. The glue might have been too much. This glue. It's just tacky. Let me wipe. That glue's on the back of there. Let me kind of wipe that back so it doesn't stick to everything. I got little partial use. Okay, I think this one I would call done. Let's get a piece of white paper. It looks like a map to me. Oh. Hey, Money. How are you? How's school? Craft lunch. Do you like your new school? Oh, good. I'm glad you like it. How's Smiley doing? Is he doing good too? It's hard when you're doing this to pay attention sometimes. Like, I don't know if Katarina's here today. I haven't seen her. I looked, but I didn't see her. She asked a question the other day I didn't see. I emailed her. I don't really know the answer to her question because it's not something I've done, but it is really hard sometimes to keep up with chat when you're doing something. Yeah, it looks like Europe, doesn't it? It looks like Europe over here and India and Russia. Good. I'm glad you like your school. So that one I'm done with, and I'll keep as is. Well, I think I'll take a little of this yellow off the edges. Here and there. And this is this just peels off. So that white part, that goes away. It's not sticky or anything. He just came home. Bob, can you hear me? I don't think he can hear me now. We'll holler at him in a minute, Money. Bob, come here a minute. Armand wants you to say hi.
Hey, Armand.
He likes his new school.
Fantastic. Well, we miss you. I've been out riding my new bike all day.
Okay, I think I'm done, y'all. It's 2 hours, 30 minutes. I think I'm inked out for the fumes. Oh, the only thing we didn't do is we didn't do one with distressed. We'll do a little one because we want to try to use the oxides. Okay, this is in honor of Joycey, but I don't think I have it. I thought I had a brown in this set, but I don't have brown, Joycey. There's a black, but I didn't care for the black. That's why I ordered a gray. Let's decide. Let's see. We're going to use this distressed oxide on top of it. Let's use that. And let's use this and this. We'll use these. I'm not sure that'll show up. We'll use those distressed oxides. Thanks, Sharon. Just like I said, it was just about play. Let's do the coral. And let's take some of that black. I'm going to add it to a glass. And let's dilute it to see if we can't get a gray. Bye, Armand. It's going to be a purplish gray because there's some purple in here. And I'm just going to let it do its thing. And then let's go. Turquoise in here. Use that. They ate just 2 hours ago. Yes, she's lying. No, they did not have their last can. They ate about 3 o'clock, 3:30. Is what I'm telling you. They should wait.
Screw that. Mom's lying. Mom's just straight up lying. Mom's lying to Dad about that.
All right. So let's dry this and then I'll get that stencil out we like. Oh, I do want to try one other thing. Let's try some Sharpie. In some area. And then some. You can see the black kind of shows back up in the rings on this one. Add some of that green. Yeah, I like that green better. In there. Add some of that light blue back in here. All right, so we'll leave that kind of the way it is. Let that dry. Put those all back. Let me find the stencil while that's drying. I have that stencil, the crackle stencil, but I don't know where it's at. I need a way to organize my stencils because there it is. And we just used a stencil brush, right, Joycey? Not a blending tool. Let me dry this. Let's see if any of this will stick. It's stuck here and there. All right. I think I have a different brush. Let's try this one. All right, let's put that Distress Oxide away. And let's go to that coral color. Okay, let's clean that. Let's see if we can't get a little more down here. And a little more up here. All right, let's put that away. Sorry, I'm not totally in the screen, sorry. This is the Wild Honey. Okay, let's see what we got here. It did not show up very well. It is on there. There is pattern, but it did not show up very well. Like it did on the Magicals paper. In fact, you probably can't even really see it. It's just real faint. Let me put white paper under it and you'll be able to maybe see a little better. You can see it a little bit. These are the oxides. Yeah. I think we did everything to it. This one, I think, needs something. I'm not sure I like the pink on it. I like it okay in places. You like it? It is soft. It's really soft. Let's try something real quick. I'm going to try the tree stencil that I like. And I'm going to try the blue. Green. And try to put some of this out the edges. And then I'm going to move it. And let's try some of the Salty Ocean with the same stencil. And try to build an underwater feeling. I like the Distress Oxides. This way, though. Now, I wish I had a gray, but this purple is going to be the closest thing I'm going to have to a gray. If I had more magicals. Let's go. It may be too muddy. Like I said, it needs a gray, is what it needs. So let's see what happens. If we take a little of this purpley gray. That did help. Put some fingers of gray back up in there. And then maybe some of that salmon color. Would help. Need some of that. Okay. If you were seeing it, I can't show it to you that way. If you were seeing a light under it, oh, I know what I can do. Then it might be cool. Ooh. Let me see something. If you had like a light behind it, I don't think I can. This is the back side, Eileen. If there was a light shining up under it, like between a glass, yeah, it's too pale. But I think a neat way to frame this would be to do like the glass on glass frames. It needs green. It needs these little bits of green. That's what it needs. It needs little dots. That's what it needed. It needed more green. Maybe we can get that to pick up the gold too. But the oxides definitely work on the vellum through the stencil that way. I think this was the coolest thing, is the ability to take and use the dotting tool to be more purposeful. Oh, I'm about done, Jean. We were just messing with the oxides and the vellum on top of the alcohol inks to see what we could layer. They layered just fine. It's about picking the right colors and the right composition. Let's add. I'm gonna see if I can get any of those green to pick up gold. That picked up a little around the edges. And that picked up a little around the edges. I think the green helped. This one. And I think the way I would frame it is between two pieces of glass. Those frames that have the glass, the two layers of glass. And then you could hang it in a window maybe. I would use UV glass. The other thing that we didn't try that we might try next time is we might try the crayon as a resist. But I think we pretty much hit everything on our list. I'm wondering, y'all, I'm wondering, I wonder if this is good to take off or not. I think it's okay. Oh yeah, it's gonna come off. I wouldn't touch it a lot. And there is ink in the inside. It looks like leaves. It looks like purple and turquoise leaves. So what I'm going to do is let that dry really good. I'm going to set that on a vellum square for right now. I'm going to let it dry really good and then I'll seal it. And that wasn't hard to do. I mean, I liked it when it was just running down the sides too. But that is super cool, super pretty. There's a little bit of a run right here. Probably where the saran wrap didn't make contact. But if I wanted to, I could probably sponge some alcohol on there and break that up or diminish that. Here, let's try. This is just a little bit of a purplish black. And let's take a baby wipe. Just kind of blotting it on this side. That softened it. Like I said, that can be the back of the vase. This is just what I put my pencils in. I'm going to let some of that purple go down the sides inside that I have. And just let that. So I have this grayish purple color anyways. That's pretty cool on the inside. Let's get the. All right, I'm going to get a little bit of that turquoise and put it in here with a little bit of rubbing alcohol. And I'm going to take the sponge and let some of the blue run down. This will be cool on the outside too. Okay. And then I'm going to take the gold and put that in here, just sort of by itself. All right, and then I'm going to sort of hit the top with that gold. All right, I'm going to go more gold. Across the top. And I'm even going to let some of that gold run on the outside, I think. Here and there. If it drips a little, I don't care. especially where that I'm just getting some of those drips. I don't want to go too far down. Like this area had no interest, so some gold in there. Helps. Yeah, I like the inside. So like I said, you soak up some of that. Let's put some gold down there on the bottom. Looks better. It's ceramic. Yeah, I think you do that when you use Sharpie. What most of the people that I saw, they do is most of them let it dry 24 to 48 hours. And then they put a spray coat of Krylon. One girl used something and then Mod Podge that was dishwasher safe. The one girl that I watched used the Krylon UV sealer, just some kind of sealer. Like I said, this isn't going to be, I'm not eating out of it or drink. I don't need it to go in the dishwasher, so I'm not worried about dishwasher safe. There is stuff you can put on that makes them dishwasher safe. If I did the coffee cups, I think I would do what the girl I saw did, is she took blue painter's tape and put it around the top of the coffee cup. So she put the blue painter's tape along here and she did all the inks down here so that when it was all dry and she took this off, there was no ink where you put your mouth. Okay, well, I'm fixing to leave anyways. That was it for me. This was the main thing I wanted to try. And I'm really pleased with it. But I know when you do the Sharpie, they put it in the oven. So I like the saran wrap. I think I liked the drips a lot too before at the beginning. But I have a couple ideas for some trays too. So I'm going to go ahead and, was there any other questions? Thanks, Dot. That I missed or something that anybody needed to ask me? That I missed? Thanks, Vaughn. All right, I will not be streaming until next weekend. Tomorrow's my last day off before I go back to work. So I'll clean this mess up. Thanks, Tammy. And hi, by the way. If I missed anybody coming in, I'm so sorry. I hope everybody enjoys the rest of their weekend. All right.